All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Great. A little winded, not going to lie. I was out there working out hard, running hills.
Can't say you weren't.
I can't say
there are hills here. We have
some hills. I've seen a lot. It's a popular thing to do right now.
Yeah.
To run those hills.
Did you, in preparation for your event this summer, when you get back in the squared circle?
Retired. Retired. Actually, I was texting with the great Broski today, and we were both lamenting the fact that I will be out of town for his return to AIW for their 20th anniversary show because perhaps I could have twisted my rubber arm to do something with Broski for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that feels like it's – look, I've seen a lot of these guys retire through the years. Well, how are you any different than Ric Flair?
I'll never retire. Old Yeller?
The retirement only leads to the bigger comeback.
That's right.
The bigger pop when he comes back.
Exactly.
Because you don't see it coming.
You didn't think you were going to get it.
It's cool today. A little bit cool, but sunny, so I'm taking it.
Yeah, and then tomorrow.
What do we got?
Maybe not as good. Wait, it's my me and the kids' debut in the golf league, Thursday night golf league.
You're in this, so I thought you could never do this.
Well, the things got switched around, and so now I can't.
Because there was a day that they would do it, and you were unavailable at those days.
It was always a Thursday golf league, and always this time of the year I had to consider it. But then it was like, hey, why don't we just keep the same thing year round? Sure. So Thursdays are up, but I don't know if we're going to get it in.
Tomorrow is 81, but 91% rain, thunderstorms. 81. Today the high is 53.
Yeah, and then Friday. And then Saturday, me and Simze in our season-long tournament, I don't think we're going to get that round in. Saturday looks rather bleak.
It does. That's Lax Fest out in the Hudson, and my wife is on the board of that, and so that's a big deal for
And you guys roll rain or shine?
Rain or shine, but no lightning. Lightning is shut down, but the rest you can do. So if it's rain and cold, you just kind of deal with it. Well, 88, high of 56.
With the misses being a board member, an esteemed
I don't know.
Member.
She's on the board for the Lax Fest.
She's the chairwoman.
But how does that impact your world and your duties for the weekend? Because, I mean, you're kind of like you're the first gentleman.
I'm the first gentleman. Yeah, it's a. I basically become I turn into like a professional child Uber driver, and I just
clearly,
because the boys will have games all weekend, so they'll be. We'll be in the mix all weekend is kind of the way that it goes. But it's huge. I think it's the biggest 2-day lacrosse tournament in the state of Ohio.
Bobby Card will probably be there.
He's going to be there for sure.
He'll be tailgating.
Oh yeah, he'll be in the mix. Yeah, the whole all of North. I mean, everyone's coming. It's wild. It'll be a fun weekend. But if the weather's tough, not great.
Yeah,
not great on that side of it. The rain is when you pull up the extended here, like the next couple of weeks. I mean, it's just littered with it. It's just constant. It's just gray, rain. Meantime, young Gibbe is going to be basking in the glow of Florida.
Darn right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow?
Yeah, he's out.
7 a.m. flight.
Gone. Let me ask you this. What age do you think you stop being responsible for your children's shortcomings and lawlessness?
Here we
All right, so we're going to get back to this, which is good.
That's why I want to. That's why I'm bringing it up. So I'm curious, without giving the reference point, what age do you think you cease being responsible for their actions?
18.
I would say if they go to college, I think like after their sophomore year. They've had 2 years on their own, and I don't know if that time's up. I think it probably does add up with this guy, but I would say
he'd be through that.
He'd be through that.
Yeah, because he's 21, so unless he's on some sort of a plan.
But that's because then it's 1 year on your own. I don't think is really enough. Now you're 2 years on your own. I think you're like you figured out how you want to navigate certain things. Not to say that you're a fully formed adult. I'd say that really probably doesn't happen to your late 20s, 30s that you really kind of have, or even early 30s, mid 30s, that you really have a handle on things. But I think at that point, when you've been on your own for 2 years,
college,
dude, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Sort of.
You're on your own.
I mean,
Like if
here's
I wanted
the deal,
to go
though.
to
Like
class, I
Artie
went to class.
Buckets
If I didn't
for
want to
sure,
go to
but
class,
like
I didn't go to class. So I wanted
Artie
to
Buckets on a
party, I
Thursday
partied.
calls you from the Commodores in Vanderbilt, and she says, "Dad, can you help me with this? Absolutely, I'll be right there."
Of course.
So you're still
There's a difference.
No, but I'm saying,
and that wouldn't be the case at 32 or even
No.
27. It wouldn't be. Like at that point,
26
you'd more of an
is-
advisor.
26 is when they I think have to come off your insurance and all of that.
Yeah.
So like that's one. But I think we're talking about two different things. Like would I still be there to assist?
You'll be there for the rest of their
course.
life. But like, let's say she gets in a fender bender. Dad, can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Of course. What do you need? Let's sort it out.
Of
So-
course. Well, that's going to be, I think, for
That's
but
different.
But I don't think that's
I'm talking from a
when did you stop?
legal or
Yeah. When did you stop calling, like if you needed something or if something happened, if you had an accident or something, at what age did you stop like calling your parents for advice or guidance or help?
I don't know. Probably sometime after college.
To me, it felt like 25.
Okay.
Like it felt like,
Which is
like
fine.
if something were to happen after that, then I kind of would handle it.
I'm on that level 100%. I'm saying more for like at what point like are you kind of on your own for like being a moron or doing something stupid? Like to me, I would have a lot more sympathy for somebody who's a freshman in college because they're just like now they're on their own for the first time. Maybe they don't know how to handle it. But if you're a junior in college, by that point you should like know
How to navigate.
okay and what isn't.
I think Gibby's right legally.
He is 18.
18 legally, you wash your hands of it.
I had told both my girls, call your uncles. I will not bail you out till Monday.
I'm not doing it till Monday.
If you go on a weekend, you're done.
So that's that I think is the legal sense. I tend to think it's probably you're always going to be responsible for them. They're always going to be a reflection of you. That is the rest of your life. That's what you sign up for as a parent. But I think that you're probably right on when you're legally responsible for them, which is what makes this also interesting. So this happened today. The Atlanta Falcons were fined $250,000, which is in the seat cushions, but nevertheless a substantial fine for the franchise. This is the one that got me, though. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich was fined $100,000 for the leak of Shadur's telephone, one that his son took advantage of. From the league, the fines were for failing to prevent the disclosure of confidential information distributed to the club in advance of the NFL draft. The Falcons said the Ulbrich family is working with the organization to participate in community service initiative in relation to last week's matter. I don't really know. This is a 21-year-old man who did this. Okay, he's a college kid, so I don't know that gives you any more grace. I think less.
He has no grace.
None.
The fact that his dad is going to fork out $100,000 for this, there would be hell to pay.
This is Tony
In my
Soprano
home.
going into the garage with the football helmet and breaking the window out of the Pathfinder and saying, "AJ, you're driving without a window. Enjoy it. Be there at 7 a.m. to work construction."
Oh yeah,
That's what this is. Yeah.
Working,
How does a kid even?
He's working this off some way.
Well, here, good luck. Like, here's the other thing. Like, this isn't college football where coordinators are paid $4 million or $3 million. And even if it were, $100,000 is you're feeling it.
Let's just say he makes $1
You're
million.
feeling it. Yeah,
So let's say takes home $550 to $600.
sure.
That's a 20% haircut, brother.
Yeah, brother. It is. Yep. Yeah. It's a
Because
monster
of-
penalty because of your bozo.
So
I said this yesterday.
How-
He raised a little jerk.
how do you make that? How do you? I may be more sympathetic to the father in this because than you are, but I think probably it has a lot to do with the fact of what he does for a living. That it is very hard to be as present probably as you want to be in this industry.
We all make choices.
We all make choices for sure, but I don't know that he necessarily. And again, I'm not going to get into that side, but I will say this kid obviously thinks that he is above a lot of things.
Yeah.
That he's not.
Oh,
but
yeah.
here's the thing that bothers me the most about it.
Yeah.
Is the kid is the one, not that the NFL can fine the kid,
Why not?
but the kid committed this
Yes.
violation.
That's the root of
The
the
child
start of this.
did this.
Yeah.
So, like,
But it's not a 16-year-old.
that's what I'm saying. I think the kid should be
21.
completely responsible.
Yeah.
The fact that his dad has to pay $100,000 for him to me is nuts.
But
The
it
Falcons
was
have to pay
his-
$250,000, which to them is not much, but it's still they're paying $250,000 because of what this kid did.
That's a salary in their building.
That's a high salary in their building.
Yeah.
There aren't many people in NFL
No.
buildings making $250,000 a year.
No.
That is a high salary in their building.
Right. And now
The
that's
top
out
10.
the window
Top 10.
because of this bozo.
It's amazing.
I don't like the fact that the kids- it feels like he's getting off scot-free.
Like you're out of the will. Like you're done.
I don't know how the kid. Like, yeah, I agree. Like, I just pictured, Tony with AJ Soprano.
Like, what would
so I
you
could
do
picture-
for real, though? Like, what I was trying
I'd garner wages.
until it's paid off.
Yeah, I'd garner wages. So,
But, Dad, now I can't afford an apartment.
your problem,
Not my
not
problem.
mine. Look, first of all, NBC is 13. I think he would know right from wrong on this. I think he would know.
This isn't. We're not
I'm not
ringing doorbells.
No. And I'm not pretending that like all of his buddies would, but I think he would.
Yeah.
Certainly at 16 he would. At 18, absolutely. At 2021,
You don't
you have
mess
this-
with Dad's livelihood.
no. And if you have to be, it's such a failure from an intelligence because he's in the video. The kid's in the video with the frat buddy. And it's like,
He
how
didn't even
did you
make the
think
call.
This wasn't getting back
Yeah,
to
who's
you.
the kid that made the call? Where's that kid? How come that kid's not in trouble? Because in the
Well,
video,
because with
Ulbricht's kid is
He's sitting there. Like, where's your lack of intelligence on this? Like,
And-
you thought
okay.
you would just be celebrated?
And
like this would be a big
video it?
funny? Right.
and video it and allow
Right.
that to get out.
Yeah. It's an intelligence failure.
Massive. And it's gross. I do think it's also part of the society that we've created. And
There's
that
no doubt.
you want to have a viral moment. Like, it's cool. Like, so okay, there's a lot of people that believe no publicity is bad publicity. Bad publicity, if it's big enough, is good publicity.
Yeah.
But this is, I think it's ridiculous. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm in the minority, and I'm fine with this. This is one where we all are going to react to this differently. I think it is ridiculous that his father has to fork over $100,000 for what a 21-year-old did. If it was a 16-year-old
but it's his
kid
device.
who lived in his house,
Yeah. I think
It's-
Gibby's onto it. It's his device.
Like-
You're responsible for the device.
Yeah.
you can't. Okay, would you expect that your son is going to steal information off of your iPad?
No, but I hope that I'm raising my son right to know the right from wrong of it and understand that this
that
is daddy's profession. You don't screw around with daddy's profession. You don't.
I think
His
that
dad, like the privilege of coaching in the NFL
sure.
and the severity of that could come with it, and to do it for like a joke is such a disconnect. You're exactly right, though. There's a generation now. I'm worried about this generation because they don't know what's real and what's not.
Correct.
With AI and ChatGPT, they don't know what's what. It's hard to tell. So they're fooled constantly on stuff. They are in a generation. I think of my kids. Their first place they go for information is YouTube.
Yep.
They go to YouTube, and then they get fed idiots on YouTube who have no credibility in many instances on anything. And they view those as successes. Like they have the names of these clowns. And these guys make a lot of money. And they're like, well, why can't I do that? And the way that they make the money is subscribers and views and clicks and all of it. That's how all of this happens. So there's a generation of kids that are growing up thinking what you just said. Any sort of look at me, notice me is a win for me. Huge, good or bad. It's terrifying, that side of it. Trust me. Well, you're raising them. You're with me.
It's wild, and yeah, it's just
I don't know what the right pound of flesh is on this. I don't.
to me, the fact that the pound of flesh that has been meted out that we've read does not make any mention of the kid at all
Yeah.
is crazy.
They must have felt like punishing the dad punishes the kid. Clearly. I mean, they felt like
Yes.
punishing the dad punishes the kid because they don't have any jurisdiction over the kid.
What you
the
need
kid
to
didn't
find
break
out,
a law.
like, what we need to
so the
find out
NFL has
is-
no jurisdiction over the kid.
Correct.
What the NFL has jurisdiction is the dad.
And that means going forward, we're tightening up who gets numbers when they get numbers.
I did see that, and so apparently it just went. It was supposed to only go to head coach, general manager, and Rock
Abdul Carter got called. It just came out.
Warren
Schefter reported.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them that did.
Yeah.
Our guy did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that? So the one thing I heard a lot of people say yesterday, well, it was because Shedeur didn't have an agent, but that doesn't hold water when you have another half dozen guys who got pranked. So this system isn't working.
So here, I think
Yeah, the one that Mason Graham got.
I
is
told the
brutal.
guys this: the whole pranking like you're on a college football team. How many guys are on a college football team?
100 and some.
Do they all have your number?
Probably most.
That's what I mean. Like, so
like how many people at Ohio State have Jeremiah Smith's number?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So being able to prank, it could be coming from somewhere on campus. It could just be.
Yeah, that's true on a lot of them.
Yeah.
You're right. It could have been someone. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Very good point on that. Yeah.
Unless the NFL is sending you a specific bat phone.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're the only ones that have that number. I just that's what makes me wonder. You know, I mean, maybe it's easier than everybody thinks.
You might be onto something on because you think about how. And by the way, what a pain in the neck it would be to get a new number.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine doing that now? How long have you had the number you guys have?
2003.
Since the year 2000.
Yeah. Probably when you decided you were going
when I moved here, maybe it was 2001. 2001.
Yeah. So
That's when I moved back home.
I got mine when I moved to Columbus, so it's a 614. And I don't even think of it like every once in a while, like I'll give it like Heinen's for the points or whatever. By the way, I have no idea what I'm getting with all those points. They just keep accumulating. I have no idea. I don't think there's anything to it. I really don't. It's not like Giant Eagle, you do it and I get gas, but like I get nothing. Like whatever comes of this, I never really get an answer, but I keep putting in the number. Anyway, every time I do that, they said, "Oh, Columbus," and I'm like, I never even registers with me that it's Columbus. That's been my number. I'm never going to change it. So like, what a pain in the neck it would be. And Shador even said that he changed his number in advance, and that's how you knew this was an NFL league.
Yep,
was that side of it. I don't know what the right pound of flesh is. I don't have an answer for you on what it is. Shador was done wrong here. An NFL team was negligent in him doing wrong. There had to be penalty of some sort. I think if I'm the dad, like that's going to be a long way to dig out of that for that kid. That's a long dig out. That's a substantial hit. Substantial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad's going to feel it.
It's $100,000 post-tax, brother.
Yeah. Yep. Cash, as it were.
I mean, yeah, I really don't. I don't know. It, to me, really feels like.
It's a big number.
Yeah, and doing a community service thing, like, okay, it's great, but
yeah,
that doesn't feel.
No.
The kid got away with basically apologizing. Now, I'm imagining behind closed doors, to your point, there's going to be. I mean,
I would garnish wages. Like if this was NBC, I would garnish wages. Like when he gets into the real world,
yeah,
wages would be garnished until it's paid.
Like I'm going to take 20% of whatever you get until
it's paid off. Yep. This is your debt to me.
To me.
And I want restitution on this.
And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to factor in inflation because it may take you 5 years or so.
Yeah.
The dollar's not the same as it is today.
Not worth the same. No, I don't know if you've noticed that.
I don't know if you noticed.
I don't know if you've noticed or not. That it's not. Yeah, it's a really, really interesting story, to say the least.
It's just awful. It's an awful story all around. And
I don't know the answer to what is the right way to do it. I don't have one. It's not like I came in here going, oh, this is what they should have done. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the penalty should be. But the only way to reach the kid is to go through the dad. That part I think we can all agree on.
For sure. I honestly think they should have, you want to really make a statement about it, I think they should have had to give us a draft pick.
I like that. Well, they have their first next year. We
have
didn't even talk about that.
Look at the list of fines that they've gotten over the years.
Yeah,
we put
have
the
it in
list
here.
on.
Like they got a 5th-round pick for illegal crowd noise,
350
5th-round pick
grand.
for tampering with cousins. We should have gotten a 5th-round pick for them for this because it's our player who was aggrieved. And I think that also sends, like, if we're being really honest about it, a grand total sum of $350,000. And I bet there's a world in which the Falcons say we'll pay your fine for you to the defense coordinator. Like if they there's a world. Even if there isn't.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
that's $350,000. I don't feel like is really that going to dissuade an organization all that much from. If all of a sudden, if everybody in the league knew that, hey, if somebody gets these numbers from me, my organization's losing a draft pick.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to be losing my job. And I think that it would be a little bit more dialed in. What's going on here?
a lot of bags.
A lot of
Bags of that. Look at this. This is a lot of people coming out of the back with these white satchels.
Who's ushering them around?
I don't know who's in charge of the ushering.
Are these?
I think did I see? Is that Kovash?
Might have been him in the mix in there.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on
Is it
here.
the summer interns?
I don't think
Big
so.
bags of
Gibbe.
that, Gibbe. Big bags of that.
No, speaking of bags, we got a bag.
What do we got?
Should open it.
Do we know?
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh,
ticking.
you've opened. Have
There's
you
no
opened?
powder?
Well,
Oh, I see.
good.
I just saw a color.
It's from across the pond.
Oh,
It's the
baby.
G-Man's favorite team.
Oh, my God.
Favorite.
How gorgeous is that blue? Come on. Oh, baby.
Looky.
Oh, that is gorgeous. G-Man, some people call it the people's team.
Those people are wrong.
Gorgeous Man City quarter zips from across the pond. How beautiful is that baby blue? I mean, come on.
Moly.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
What do we have here?
Those are lovely. Who sent these to us? Do you have the slip so we can give proper thanks to those that were?
Proper credit. Do you like this quarter zip?
What are your size? Well, we can do it.
Both
in the break.
largest. I kind of like this one here. This kind of has a fit of like it's almost like is it like a kit? Oh man, I kinda
Boy, those are lovely.
that.
Lovely.
Look at that.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Who do we
Yes,
give
thank
proper
you.
thanks to? We got to give proper thanks. No note?
No.
So no?
Yo, it's on the ground. It's next to you on the floor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's get a proper thank you here. Yeah.
Easy, Zagro. Don't hurt yourself.
Easy, easy.
Thank you, Gibby. Uncle Bo, Dr. Z, Gibby, and the boys.
Let's go.
Hope these quarter zips find you well. Me and my son are massive Browns fans and also City season ticket holders. So just want to add these to the collection. Also, thank you guys for a great show keeping us sane during the offseason. Hopefully we'll catch you in London, and you'll never know if the future fall right, you could catch a City game. If the futures,
the futures. Yeah, the
Yeah,
futures.
the futures fall right.
Yeah.
You catch a City game. All sorts of tickets, no problem. All the best, and go Browns. And up the Blues at Browns Club 29. Thank you. I think it's Siren is the first name.
What's the name of great job? Yeah, this is a fantastic job. Eagerly anticipating. Where's the stadium we're playing? What's the name of the stadium we're playing in?
Tottenham
Hotspur.
Hotspur. Yeah.
North London,
I mean, that's beautiful.
per the aficionado.
That is
All
beautiful.
right, it's 200 miles from there to Manchester.
So it's not very far. Ooh, look at this in the Navy.
Those are gorgeous. What a job. That's
What a
very.
thank-
It's very kind.
very
Very kind.
over the
for
top.
The box of that. That's
We
very
will-
nice.
Some fish and chips on us.
Well,
in,
yeah. I
in
mean,
jolly old England.
it's a very good job. So thank you
Wow.
so much for that. The
Wow.
Shedeur Sanders. Speaking of Shedeur, he had the third best selling jersey among 2025 draftees behind Travis Hunter and Cam Ward.
So
what
we
number
were
are they
debating
doing?
this. I'm like, he doesn't have a number yet, but maybe it's
Pre-order.
Hunter, they
Pre-orders?
gave 12. Cam Ward 1. Most of the rookies have 1. I think Shedeur got is 00, at least on the graphic that they showed. That's what it was. So I think it's just a pre-order. It'll be
Pre-order, and then you'll see how
You'll
that
get
goes.
what-
yeah.
yeah.
What numbers are available for us? And he would be down the pecking order on picking them. 1 and 2 are both available. 8 is currently available because Elijah, at this point, is not back.
Yep.
So single digit wise, 1, 2, 8.
I don't know
12's
if Coach is a
available.
big believer in giving the rooks single digits.
Well,
Maybe you have to earn those.
I mean, I know that he did that in previous years because we even had some guys who were
Delpit.
vets. Delpit had to wait before he could move in.
I think they're
to a single.
I think he might be a little more lenient on it now.
Yeah, so 1 and 2 are available. 5 is available. 8 is available.
5 was Jameis.
Yep. 12 is available. 14 is retired. 16, 17 are available. So those are your available.
Listen, I don't think if you're a Dylan Gabriel or if you are a Shedeur Sanders, I really don't think you go wrong with 16 as a quarterback, just saying.
Dylan will wear 8 because he wore that at Oregon, and that was his college number, so that would be a win.
And Shedeur could wear 2.
He could, but my hunch is that if it is available to a rookie, Quinshon would get
Quinshon, I think, wanted 5.
5. Okay, 5 is available. Yeah. 5 is
I
available.
think he wanted 5.
Well,
1,
but
2,
like-
and 5. He wore 4 at Ole Miss, and he wore 2 at Ohio State.
He
There
may
are
have said
other
2 and then 5
quarterbacks
back
in the
up.
past that have worn number 2. Maybe we go a different number.
2 for a running back would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. How many guys have, I mean, so Couch wore 2, Manziel wore 2. Yeah. Yeah.
Couch.
2 is always one that people want. I bet some
Yeah.
of our vets want to move into 2. I'm not sure
Yeah.
who it would be. And then I don't know, like, priority-wise, how do you decide? It's so in college, you can always tell what they think of a prospect based on the number they gave them.
Yes,
I was just
Schlesinger
gonna
could get
give-
49.
It's available.
We asked him about that and said that's not. Siciliano said something like, that's not the most popular number, and he said, well, that's because nobody's worn it well enough yet.
Good for him.
So maybe he's going to roll with it. I think we saw Fannin was down there and he liked 88.
He also
Love
had
that.
asked for
On the
44.
video we put out.
Horn.
Yeah, 44 is by Anthony Kendall's wearing it right now. 88 would look great.
88's a great number.
Yeah.
Tony Gonzalez, that's a good tight end number.
Yeah. 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 I wonder if there will be a
Here's my word of caution to you guys with these rookie numbers. Unless they get
Yeah.
one that is clearly like they're locked into it and they're
Yeah.
excited about it, wait.
wait till the end because I
Wait,
remember
'cause
being
after cuts.
Yeah, I remember being in a Dick's and they were selling the Tillman. I think he was in 89
Yep.
to begin with.
Yep.
And they had like Cedric Tillman 89s and I'm like
19.
he's
Chubb.
not going to wear
See,
that.
but
Chubb was wearing 27 until
Yes.
he got to 24
I think I
after the
might
cut
want
downs.
the original number.
The original.
Just to, like it's different.
Just
like,
zagging.
What was
What
JOK
89.
before he became 6?
Well, he actually
28.
wore 28
Wore it for a year.
for 1 year or 2, but at least a year because NBC got one. He wore
And
it.
Delpit
wore
was
it
22.
28.
But a lot of guys change as at the cut down. They will
Yes.
change at the cut down
Yeah.
day. So just be,
Be wary of that.
unless it's clear, as I said, that they
So-
got a number that they're going to be pumped with.
Is 15 available? Have we given Joe his number yet?
That would be Flacco.
Oh, Flacco, yeah, he is in 15. I was curious if he was already on the roster as 15. Well, what's Pickett?
Pickett.
Pickett does not
no
not
number.
have one
I
yet,
don't
and he
think-
wore
And
8.
he wore 8.
He wore 8. So
Oh, boy.
I wonder why he doesn't have a number yet. Is
Some
that-
places have put out all their numbers.
Yeah, a lot of teams have.
Yeah, we have not yet.
No, we have not. All right, there you go. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Also important for me to remind you that OBM is a preferred provider of copier and document services of the Cleveland Browns. I'll tackle any size office at 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachine.com. The Hoff. Coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Oh, baby. If the condition is pure joy, boy, do we have a prescription for you. And it comes with 3 letters. HOF. It is the Joe
baby.
Thomas. The Hoff. Hour of the program is here. He's here on the Twisted Tea Hotline. It's presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of your Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland. Hoff, 100 of you versus a silverback. Who you got?
Oh, no. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
We
we got
got
you.
We got you now.
I got the Hoff.
All right, sorry. Yeah, baby. Your question cut out. Would you mind repeating that, please?
100 men
No, 100
versus
Hoffs.
Well, hold on. 100 men versus a silverback gorilla to the death. And then if you want the 100 men to be you, elite athlete, then that's fine. Who you got?
Are there any tools or weapons?
No
involved?
weapons. None. Bare hands.
I got the silverback gorilla. I think it'll end in a tie, to be totally honest. I'm not sure that
Can't
anybody
be a
could
tie.
get close enough to kill him, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't really know like what you could do, even with 100 men, like other than just allowing maybe 75 of them to suffocate by just all at once piling on top and just creating a huge man pile on top of the gorilla.
That's part of it.
But I think I could kill him by myself.
Hoff.
Barehanded Hoff. Barehanded
Hoff.
Yeah,
Love it.
the
Yes.
strategery is a part of it. The coward of man is a part of it,
No,
though, too,
so
right?
that's why I instituted this rule, Hoff, that you only can survive if the gorilla is dead. So if you're a deserter or a fleer, shot on sight. So you must participate.
I like it.
There is no cowardice. So my strategy yesterday was I had six teams of 10 and then 40 who were just fill in for the dead or just be a part of the dog pile once you got him off of his vertical base. One for the left leg, one for the left arm, one for the right leg, one for the right arm. Another 10 people, which is 20 hands, 100 fingers, whose sole job is to gouge the eyes of the gorilla out, because if I think we can gouge his eyes out, we got a shot, or at least render them useless. And then the others are to pummel his nether regions into submission to distract him long enough that we can get him off a vertical base and pile on. I think we can win.
I think that's a solid strategy, but I think what you're not understanding is that I think the gorilla goes Tasmanian devil and just starts spinning with like spinning fists, whirling dervish style as you get close to him. So I don't even know how you'd be able to like keep him down, because even if you had 5 guys jump on an arm at a time, all he has to do is start spinning or ripping that arm out. And I don't think anybody could, even 5 people, like there's just not enough surface area for all 5 to be able to grab them and combine their forces.
Here's the other thing I was thinking, too, because I read about it. So the average gorilla is like 400 to 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
But don't you think, Hoff, like think about what you're able to do dealing with 300-pound men. If you had if we kind of just all bull rushed him, yeah, he's going to knock some of you away. But don't you think like you could, if people rushed him all at once, like you could at least pop him off of his,
I don't think that.
Off the ground?
I don't think you're going to. I think Hoff's point on surface area is the problem. There's not enough of the 100 of you to get a hold of him to move him.
No, but I think the Hoff and Joel Bitonio, if they were to get close, could get him off of his vertical base.
Well, the one thing there you said is if they were to get close, Hoff.
Well, I think they would get close because we have sacrificial lambs who are a part of this. Meanwhile, we're going to take his eyes out.
I think it would be challenging. Yeah, even if you got him on the ground, though, like, what are you going to do then? You're going to try to pile on top of him, but, like, you get a big heavyweight wrestler on the ground, they can squirm and worm and contort their body to get out of there pretty easily and then smash most of you that are close to them, like, very quickly, I would think. So I just don't know, even if you're able to get them on the ground, because they're used to running on their hands and their feet. It's not like a human where you get them on the ground and they're a little bit more worthless. It reminds me of the conversation I had, surprisingly, when I was in Germany. We had a ongoing discussion during the season because my teammates or my players, they learned that I owned a farm and had beef cattle over in Germany. And our left guard, Leander Vegan, who's actually in the IPP program now for the NFL down in Florida.
Nice.
He claimed that he thought he could kill a full-grown cow with his bare hands.
What?
And so we had this ongoing discussion about how you would do it, and like even if you could get close, what would you do? And he said he would give him the hezzy move, and then he would kick him in the front leg to try to break a leg, And then he would run around and try to give him the hezzy move again, kick the other leg, disable him, and then he thought he'd be able to like lay on his disabled chest to get all the air out of his chest, and then he'd eventually suffocate. But we said, you're crazy, man. You've never been near a cow. They are so much more powerful, and like their leg bones are basically solid and the size of your waist. There's a 0% chance you could break their leg.
There's no chance.
No chance.
There's no chance. No.
No chance.
No.
No chance.
Hoff, when do you guys brand in Wisconsin? Do you guys brand or do you do something else? Do you not have to maybe?
Yeah, we're going to now. You know, we had such a small herd, it didn't matter, but now we've bought all this really super high-powered, expensive genetics for these Wagyu and some of our certified Angus that we're like, damn, people are going to come steal this.
Yeah.
So, so now we're making a brand.
Okay, you've been to a branding, though, before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the people who haven't. Like two grown, pretty strong men to hold down a calf. Like a little baby calf in one place while they're branded.
Hard.
And neutered and everything else. They're squirmy. Like, you just don't have any idea how strong animals are. It's just a totally another level of strength that you just
I will say this. As a man who has swam with both the dolphin and the manatee, the power, the dolphin is basically like a giant muscle. The power and speed that it is able to generate is hard to fathom when you feel it push you like as though, and I'm 225 pounds.
Yeah.
It was able to propel me through the water as though I was weightless.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
And it's a dolphin.
It's a dolphin, man.
Yeah.
Not king of the jungle.
No. And the manatee, which is, just like a giant walrus.
Yeah. I like those guys.
Big. Very formidable.
Very.
But very kind.
I also did like Hoff, by the way. I liked you on. It was great to see you on at the Kelsey Boys. You had
Kelsey, DP.
He's been everywhere. He's been
playing all the hits.
But I thought it was funny. They had a question from an emailer or maybe it was a caller about if you could have a liquid shot out of every one of your fingers. And I love how you went diesel. Two of them were diesel fuel and milk. I thought that was great. I love that from the bottom line perspective, Hoff. That's thinking big picture, buddy.
Dude, we're spending a lot of money on whole milk here in the family household with 4 kids that are between the ages of 12 and 6. I mean, we're going through 2 gallons a day right now. God forbid when we get them in high school, how much milk we're going to go through. It's going to be disgusting.
That's great. Hey, what did you look? We drafted. We haven't talked to you since. What did you make of the haul that Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Paul DePodesta, and the organization put together?
So nobody's surprised. They did a great job sticking to the plan. I thought they had a really, really solid draft. It was really important for them to be able to add draft picks for next year, right? Because it's going to be supposedly a better quarterback draft, and you want to have those resources in case you identify a guy that's in the draft that you want to go up and make your franchise guy, assuming they don't find one in this draft with, the 4 quarterbacks they have on the roster that all have a chance to start and, prove. Obviously, Flacco's getting the end of his career, but the other 3 guys, you never know where things are going to go there. So you've set yourself up for next year, which was huge. You've addressed your number one need on the defensive line, putting a guy next to Myles Garrett for hopefully the rest of Myles Garrett's career that can be, a shop wrecker as a defensive tackle who, in my opinion, has a big upside. Actually, one of the guys that I work out with Monday, Wednesday, Friday out here in Madison, his son's a strength coach at Michigan. So I was asking him, what does he think about Mason and stuff? And he's like, everybody loves the guy. He's awesome, great locker room guy, works his butt off and everything. But he goes, you know what? He just hasn't really embraced like being a psycho in the weight room yet. He's like, that's the big area where he can improve. And I go, perfect. Mm-hmm. Because, you think about speed and quickness and all these other things. Like, you can't really make big differences in gains in that, like, especially once you become an NFL player as like a 21, 22-year-old adult. But the weight room, like, that is the easiest thing to be able to add strength and muscle, especially when you get to the NFL because you have more resources, but also you have more time. College, you got to go to school, they tell you. You got to go to the varsity cheerleading thing. You got to go to the sorority parties. You got to do all these things. You're very distracted. You got nothing but football in the NFL, and you're going to have a chance to commit your body to the weight room, to get bigger, to get stronger, to get more powerful. And then the guy's already a beast. I mean, he was taken 5th overall because of his performance on the field. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, can you imagine Myles Garrett being like, hey, Mason, we're going to the weight room and we're going to crush some stuff. Like, he's going to say, let's go. I'll be there right now. You know, so I think it's just a perfect mix there. And then the 2 running backs we got, everybody I talked to just loves those guys. Obviously, having to think about, what are we going to do if Nick Chubb's not there? And having
he could still come back, Hoff.
Potentially this
Don't
year.
give up.
He could still, right? That's it. That's what I said, potentially.
Yep.
Potentially, I don't want to write it off yet. But with us going back a little bit more to a focus on running the ball, under center, back to kind of what Kevin Stefanski has done throughout his career, I think you want to have 2 studs in the backfield at least. So I thought overall it was great. And that tight end, the linebacker, Carson Swessinger from UCLA?
UCLA, yeah.
Dude's got speed. He's rangy. He gives you an amazing option if JOK's neck isn't healthy. But when you've got a super fast linebacker who's got a nose for the football, you can put him anywhere, right? And you play a lot of dime, nickel. You can kind of play him at that nickel back position. You can rush the passer with him. You can let him run sideline to sideline. And you need that speed in the middle of the field to defend guys in the NFL today like Lamar Jackson.
Hoff, when you think about a guy like Carson Swessinger, 0-star recruit, walk-on, to go from that to really not starting until the last year he was in college to the 33rd pick in the NFL draft. I mean, doesn't this guy feel like Cleveland is going to love him? And isn't that a kind of remarkable story when you really think about it and how good these scouting services have gotten?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, back in my day in 2003 when I went to college, like I was, 3-star or whatever, and there was maybe Rivals or Scout, whatever.com, and Tom Lemming, I think was the guy's name. He was in Chicago, and he was basically like the only big name high school scout. Mm-hmm. And he drove all over the country and saw these guys at camps and at the few scouting combines they did. But it was reasonable that people just flew under the radar. But nowadays, it's impossible to understand how a man of that talent who becomes a high NFL draft pick would be unknown, at least to the vast majority of schools. So I think he's clearly a guy that fits the mold of what we want in Cleveland, what the fans love. And that was one of the things I mentioned kind of at the end of Friday night, I think in a social post that I sent to the Browns, was like, we got football guys. And it was very clear that the Browns want to be able to select dudes that fit in with the culture of the city and what we want to build with this organization, with tough, hardworking, dependable, committed guys that buy in and are willing to sacrifice for that ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think it was 25 Hoff of the 32 first-round picks were 4 or 5-star recruits. Like, we know who you are, younger than ever. They do a great job of evaluating. There are misses. Guys slip through, but it's not at the level that it used to be 15, 20 years. It's also the second time this week Tom Lemming's name has come up on the show, which is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable for
no
him.
way.
Yeah, no, I talked about it on Monday because when I first got to Tallahassee, it was him and there was one other guy that another Tom that I'm blanking on, but Tom Lemming was the guy. It's like you waited for his top 100 to see where guys were ranked, and he was by himself. And you're right, he would drive around in a vehicle and talk to high school coaches. It was wild how far it's come. All right, let's do the quarterback room. There are currently 5. Now, Deshaun's coming off of the second Achilles, and so he's not going to factor in to 2025. But the other 4 will. How does that play? If you're Kevin Stefanski, how do you manage 4 of them? And obviously there will have to be decisions that are made in the fall.
Well, it's a challenging balancing act, but I think it's actually a pretty nice position to be in, right? Can you imagine? There's been a few teams I've been on where we're like, all right, we've got nobody competing to be the starting quarterback this year. Now, technically there's 3 or 4 guys on the roster, but we don't really feel good about any of them. But to sit there and say, okay, we know what Flacco is, right? So we feel good about that, which having a guy with experience who's been here, who's taken us to the playoffs, you feel good like, okay, he doesn't need quite as many reps as a normal starter would. Obviously, he needs some, knock the rust off, get on the same page with everybody. But really, you can get Kenny Pickett in there and start getting him reps right away and just see how he fits. And you can find out pretty quickly in the NFL. That's the beauty of the number of practices they have in OTAs and the number of practices they have without pads on, because they get more reps in the 7-on-7 environment, in the environment where you're not having that contact, where quarterbacks get a chance to drop back and throw the football. So you got to look at him really quick. And then with Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, I think Gabriel is a little bit unique, right? Because he was obviously a great quarterback in college, but there was a lot of question marks about, hey, he's undersized, not the elite athlete you would expect out of a smaller quarterback, not a huge arm, but he got the job done. So those skill sets, do they translate to the NFL? And I think that's a question that is going to get answered pretty quickly, because it's like he shows up and, wow, just like Russell Wilson did. Wow. Immediately you heard when Russell got there that, hey, his height doesn't matter. Like, he's got it. So I think you find out quickly one way or the other about Gabriel. And then Sanders, same thing. So I think you're in a good position where you'll find out quickly about those guys, and you'll be able to divvy up the reps sooner than you normally would if you had maybe 4 of the pro-style, traditional pocket passers, the big, tall guys with the big arms, because it comes down to decision-making, and you need a huge sample size to decide, like, hey, this guy is a good decision-maker or he's not. Whereas if you're short and you've got I don't want to say weaker, but a less strong arm, it's pretty clear out there. Can he throw into those windows with timing? Can he see over the line? Yes or no? Like, you find out right away.
It's going to be fascinating, right? Yeah. Because obviously Dylan Gabriel was the quarterback that, outside of Cam Ward, the Browns had targeted in this draft. Kenny Pickett's a guy who's 15-10. Shedeur Sanders is, everybody would agree, a first or second round talent who fell down to the 5th round. And so I think the Browns, obviously when they signed Joe Flacco, thought they were going to be going in this season with Kenny Pickett, Flacco, and Gabriel. Now Shedeur's in the mix, who might be the most talented of all of them. It's just going to be such an interesting thing to watch, because not only is it, you mentioned 7-on-7, but then you're going to have to understand how do they do with blitzes and checks and all of those things, which you can only really get in like the team periods, but there are so many limited reps there. Don't you think so much of what goes on perhaps in that quarterback room, Hoff, and maybe I could be totally wrong about this, but is going to have to matter as well, because there just aren't enough reps in a practice to possibly really decide which of these 3 is going to be the guy. I think Flacco, you know what you've got, but if you are going to play him, he still needs to get reps. It's just a completely he's peak high. We got senior.
Bowling,
man, a bowling strike.
Easy.
There it is. Easy. I think this is going to be one of the more fascinating things to watch. And like, could we carry 4 quarterbacks into the season? Probably not. So how this plays out, I think, is going to be fascinating.
Yeah, I think the decision kind of is something that'll be really fascinating, but closely watched by Browns fans. It'll be good for our business, boys. I mean, I can't wait to see you guys in training camp and be out there every day. I mean, it's good. We're going to be setting records at training camp practice, and obviously preseason games are going to get really exciting in the second half. So me and Chris Rose are going to be real happy. We'll have a lot to talk about. But I think one of the things Kevin's going to do, and I've done this at times throughout my career back in Wisconsin and then in Cleveland, is when you do have so many quarterbacks, you almost split the team up into 2 different teams, and you've got the space to do it. So you have like the first group going on one field, the second group going on the other field. And then let's say it's Flacco and Pickett on one side. Flacco will take the first 2 reps, and let's say there's 10 reps in the period. And then Pickett can take the next 8. And then on the other field, you got 2 guys that are splitting reps 5 and 5. And then the next time you have that period where you're splitting the teams up, now you just take Shedeur or you take Gabriel and you put them over there and you flip-flop them with Kenny Pickett. So now he's getting the 8 reps with the first unit. And so I think there are ways to do it. It obviously is challenging because you want to get a look at both the guys, but I think it has been done. Stefanski's really super sharp about finding ways to do that. And with the addition of the virtual reality stuff, they can actually get a lot of reps and get up to speed with actually just being able to see and go through the reps without actually having to do it, on the practice field in person.
Hoff, you know what else, as you were kind of going through that plan, which makes all the sense in the world, this is one of the rare instances in the NFL where you have a wide open, you can have a truly open quarterback competition, can't they? I mean, it was Baker. Baker was the starter. Lord Kevin got here. Then you acquired Deshaun.
It was Tyrod Taylor.
No. When Kevin got here. When Kevin got here, it was Baker.
Yeah.
And then you acquired Deshaun, and Deshaun's the starter.
Yep.
There is no starter.
No.
So this is a true. I mean, there aren't many instances in the National Football League. We see this in college all the time, but in the National Football League, where you have a true open quarterback competition, Hoff, there's no obligation to play anybody.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting. Like you said, it doesn't happen all that often. I think we kind of expect Flacco will be the guy to start, but certainly if you brought Kenny Pickett in here a while ago because you thought he could start, and he was that insurance policy in case something happened to Flacco or in case we weren't able to get somebody that we felt good about in the draft. But, I mean, there's nothing that says he couldn't be the starter at the end of training camp. I think the thing that they just need to be careful of is you don't want to let the competition drag out too long throughout training camp, because eventually that second half of training camp, when you're really dialing into the preseason games,
right,
you're starting to get in game plan and stuff, you want to have a good idea of, all right, this guy's our starter. We want him to get the majority reps. And with the 2s and 3s, you can still kind of rotate those other guys. But that first half of training camp is a true quarterback competition like we probably have never seen before in Cleveland.
Do you think that all things being equal, that if somebody can be in the neighborhood of Joe Flacco, that they would rather go with one of the young guys? Pickett, Gabriel, or Shador?
I mean, you have to weigh the future into your decisions a little bit at least, right?
Yeah, I think a lot.
I think you'll find out pretty quickly like where Flacco is. And you'll know pretty quickly, like, okay, with Flacco at quarterback and the team we have around him, like, is this a team that can make a run in the playoffs? And if that's the case, then it's without doubt Flacco's team. But if it's close, you're thinking, okay, we got Flacco for maybe this year, and then he might retire. Let's go with the young guy if it's close, because he gives us more upside, not only down the line, but this year as well, because a young guy's going to improve a ton during a season. Flacco, he kind of is what he is once you get to a certain age. So you play the young guy, you hope that he's making leaps and bounds progress during the season, and then now you got a guy that's got a ton of experience that's your starter going into next year.
Yeah, you get 3 swings at it.
Well, I mean, and part of me thinks that in some way, shape, or form, you could see all 3 young guys, because I really think, like, now that you have the 2 first-round picks next year, you really want to know, is Kenny Pickett the guy? Can he be the guy? Can Gabriel be the guy? Can Shador be the guy? Because what a great scenario it would be in next year if, let's just say, we could draft the number 1 receiver in the draft and Caleb Downs, or the number 1 receiver and the number 1 tackle, or use those ones to just buttress around like maybe we have found our quarterback. But I think you're going to need them to play to know that. And I think you're right. I think a decision you need to figure out pretty quickly, number 1, who is the best quarterback, period. And if the best quarterback is Flacco at this point, then the question you have to ask is, do we believe with Joe Flacco at quarterback, we can try to win the AFC North? And if the answer to that question is yes, then obviously I think you go that way. And if it's not, though, then I think you have to pull back from that.
Certainly. And there's always the wild card of, like, hey, maybe Shador shows up and he wows you, right? Like, there's certainly a potential that happens, and you're like, wow, he gives us a chance to win the AFC North. Let's make him the starter, and it doesn't have to be something that waits down the line. But I think they've given themselves a lot of flexibility, and that was the great thing I think that they feel the best about coming out of this draft is we've hit on some big-time needs.
Yep.
We got tremendous value from Shador Sanders, who, hey, he might be your franchise quarterback. Who knows? He's definitely got an opportunity. But you didn't have to spend much on him, and you didn't have to really commit to him beyond this year. And then you have those 2 first-round picks next year. So if you find a guy this year, like you mentioned, boom, now those are position players. If you didn't, now you can use that to move up and potentially select a quarterback that you like for the future. So the flexibility that they have is awesome, but it is a little stressful if you're there, because now you got a quarterback competition with 4 guys and you don't even really know who's going to be the front runner.
Hoff, what was young Jack's reaction to announcing the pick on Friday?
So it was interesting. I was up there Thursday for the draft and then Friday and getting ready for the show. And I was like, well, Jack's coming up. Like, why don't I just see if the NFL's cool with him being able to announce the pick? Like, I'll be up there. I'll do whatever they want, but like maybe he can say the name, or at least if he can stand next to me. I'm like, I should at least ask. I'd be mad if I didn't ask. So the person that was my handler that like is in charge of all the people that come, all the players that announce picks through the NFL, I asked him, and he's like, no, sorry, we can't do it. It's too late. Like, we need to do all the security clearance because since the tragedy in New Orleans during the college football national championship, like the security at these NFL events is crazy. The Super Bowl, they basically closed down everything within a mile of the stadium with huge fencing, and there was a couple ways in and a couple ways out, and there's security everywhere, but you can't really like get around the way you normally do. To be able to get into the core area, you have to have a security clearance. They do a background check. Like, it's a really, really big deal. And I was like, okay, I understand, but I feel like that's a bad answer. I'm like, the NFL is not going to look bad if my son, who's like a diehard Browns fan, knows everything about the team, wearing head-to-toe Browns, comes up there with me and announces a pick. I'm like, that's a bad answer. So I went to my boss, who works for NFL events, who's basically like in charge of the Super Bowl, the draft, all the events overseas. And so the only person he reports to really is like Roger Goodell. So I was like,
that's a good place to go.
I was like, hey, I don't want to go around anybody's back, but do you think my son could come and be on stage with me? And he's like, absolutely. So it was great. 5 minutes after I got the response from the NFL that he couldn't do it, I get the email, no problem, just give us his birth date and send us a headshot. I'm like, yes. So we organized it. We were able to get him through like the back doors. I had a runner that was working for me that found him out with the peasants and was able to get him security clearance and like went through the 2-mile catacombs to be able to get to where I was. So we got to hang out in my green room. And then when we were up there getting ready to announce the pick, he's standing there backstage with me. And as you'd expect, like he is a very confident young man. But like he was really nervous and he felt embarrassed almost, he like didn't want to embarrass himself. I'd never been in front of 250,000 people. I'd never seen a sea of humanity like that in my life. I didn't go to Woodstock. So, I played in Ohio State, that's like 110 or whatever, but this was more than, so he's really nervous and he's like, Dad, I'm embarrassed. I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, it'll be great, buddy. Everyone will love it. He's like, I'm just embarrassed. I'm like, okay, well just come up and stand with me. And we're standing back there and we got all the cards in front of us with all the names. And so we're like practicing the names really quickly. And we get the pick in and it's Quinshon Judkins. And we had the lady who's in charge of the pronunciation and Roger was right there. And so she's like, it's Quinshon, and the music is really loud and everything. He says, Quinshon Jenkins. And I said, Jack, can you say this? Quinshon Jenkins. And he goes, Dad, it's Judkins. He's like the best running back in college football. He did this. He's a truck. He's a truck guy. Like he likes to run people over. And he's like, I got this. I'm going to say the name. I'm like, okay, great. This is awesome.
So good.
And then I was like, do you want me to say running back Ohio State? He's like, no, I got this, Dad. I'm like, my man, you got this is right. So then we walked out there like 5 seconds later. We get up on stage. And I had to read from the card. He did not. He looks right out into the audience. He's like, Quinshon Judkins, running back, Ohio State. And I was like, oh my gosh, you nailed it. And immediately I had like 50 text messages from his teachers and parents. And it was really,
I tried
really
to get a good
special
picture
moment.
of it for you, Hoff, while we were on the air when that happened. I was like,
so
this
cool.
is so cool. And then they're going home in the car and Hoff posts the video. Though you guys, what was it? The Pound podcast? You and Jack?
Pound Browns Kids podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wouldn't shut up. And I mean, I loved it about him because I love talking ball with him, and he's my guy and he just knows everything. Like I'll talk to him before I do shows because he knows so much. And so we were just talking, we were listening to some after draft reports, podcasts and stuff. And I'm like, he's just going on and on about the Browns picks. And I'm like, dude, let's just record this and I'll just call it a podcast. I'm like, what should we call it? And of course, my suggestions were bad. And he was like, Dad, let's call it the Pound Browns Kids podcast. I'm like, perfect, let's do it. So I just videoed it as we were driving, and he nailed it, man. It was great.
So cool, man. It's so cool to be able to share in that and to see it up there. And, it's awesome. And boy, the college football acumen, pretty good scouting report out of young Jack.
Yeah, he's on it.
I'm telling you, he knows everything about everybody. I don't know how, because we don't even really watch that much TV, but he's like you guys. There's Z. Whenever I talk to you, you got like that photographic memory. That's how he is, and it's fun, like being able to hang out with your kids and like talk about adult stuff. You know, like we're finally that age. It's really fun.
So cool.
If when he's 21, he gets a phone number from you and then prank calls somebody and then you're fined $100,000 for that, how will you handle that, Hoff?
Well, I hope that he has better judgment than that and has more empathy for the common man than to think that that's a good idea. So there's going to be a stern conversation if that happens, and I don't think he'll have a phone from me after that point if that happened.
I'm garnishing wages until it's paid back in full if that happens. Like, I'll pay the fine, but I'm garnishing.
Yes.
I took like a business law class in college, and they always talk about treble damages. I don't want my $100,000 back. I want $100,000 plus $200,000 for damages.
There you go.
Yes.
Damages on top.
It feels fair.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It feels fair.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you, pal. As always, great talking to you. And what a cool weekend to have you share with the family. And we'll catch up again soon, hopefully.
Hoff.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me on. Z, I'll see you in a couple of weeks at Turkey Camp, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
I didn't know if we could talk about this. I sent a text to Zagura, and he didn't look at his phone.
Wait,
because
what's going on?
Zagura's going camping outdoors with the Hoff.
Hoff, are you still there?
I'm there.
Okay, Hoff's here.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What?
Hey, hold on. Give me a legal ID real quick.
You're listening to ESPN Cleveland 850 WKNR, a Good Karma brand station. What?
I'm going to Turkey Camp, baby.
Do you have any idea what you've signed up for?
I'm the sommelier.
He's the official sommelier.
I'm the official sommelier of Turkey Camp. I know my skills.
To man.
Yeah,
that's right.
One of the questions.
I need the details on this.
So the Hoff has put together like a sheet that you have to fill in various things.
Roles,
like, like can you lead a group to hunt turkey? No. Hard no. Do you have your own shotgun? No, I do not. So then it said, what can you offer? So I said, I can offer, said I'd be happy to sous chef. I can provide play-by-play commentary of the hunt.
No, you got to be quiet.
So that's out. So then we landed on sommelier, which I'm going to be great at.
All right. Where is this taking place? How long is this commitment?
I'm going to be there Friday to Sunday.
Is this at the farm?
I don't know.
Where is this? Where are we going?
Yep. We're going to the family farm, Six Springs Farm there in southwest Wisconsin, in God's country, man. He's going to have the time of his life. It's going to be incredible. We got like 30-some people coming. I've got my two buddies in Madison who are chefs. Joey Bagels, he was on Chopped. He's my partner in Gotham Bagels. And then Dan Bonanno, he's a James Beard finalist, best chef in the Midwest, pig in a fur coat. He's actually the guy that actually got my beef very first time and started serving in his restaurants and encouraged me to start selling direct to consumer. And then, Alex Mack usually comes, John Greco comes. They got a bunch of buddies from Ohio that'll be there, Wisconsin buddies, NFL buddies. So it's 80% party, 20% turkey hunting. So it's a good balance for just about anybody. And now we got our official sommelier.
I want video of him calling them in.
All right, hang on. Z, this is what you got to practice.
Okay.
You got a call right here. Hang on.
He's efforting. Hoff. You got time.
Doesn't he have a call, or is he actually doing that just by himself?
I don't know if he's sometimes they blow on something.
Do you have a call? Like, do you actually have something that is helping to do this?
Yeah. You get like this little mouth diaphragm thing, and kind of it looks like a diaphragm. It's like a little U of wire, and it stretches a latex piece across, and you put it in your mouth, and then you sing sweet nothings to the Tommy turkeys in the woods. Try to fool them. Just like college all over again. Only
beautiful.
The males, not the females.
I don't even know. Like, Hoff, what am I supposed to wear? Like, do I have to go buy
You're
like
in camo?
a
you need
camo
to be completely
suit?
in camo, of course.
All right. I need it.
Is he sleeping outside?
Eagle eyes are.
So I need to get
Listen to Hoff on this.
Turkey's
This is
eyes are
really
even
important.
Okay.
Better than eagle eyes.
All right.
Turkey's eyes are even better.
So I need
better. So you
camo.
have to be
You got to send me what kind of
completely
camo you
head-to-toe
want, and then I also know that I need to get, be ready to go to Oktoberfest as well. So I need to get that outfit as well.
You got to have you need to hit Cabela's up ASAP.
Okay.
So you need to hit one of those.
I want to know what, are we talking? Is this Rommel in the desert? Are we in
Well,
the?
no,
no,
you're
of course I know we're in the forest.
Yeah, you're in the forest.
Is this like Return of the Jedi?
Is
Are
he
we on
sleeping
Endor?
in the woods? Please tell me that he's sleeping in the
Oh,
woods.
please tell me this is a real camp, Hoff.
Yeah,
With no
we got
toilet.
Tents. We got
Tents.
tents. We got the whole deal. We have toilets. Don't worry, we have toilets. But you can also,
This is so
go
good.
nature
Toilets.
potty if you need to.
This is so good.
I mean, for number one, I'd love to be in nature. It's gonna be great.
This is everything
Yeah.
that I need.
that's
I
joy.
need proper.
So how am I, in your mind, I'm going to be a disaster?
No.
No?
You're
No.
very good at everything. I don't sense you're going to suck at this. This will be unlike anything you've ever done in your life.
Fact.
Times a billion.
100%.
So that,
Yeah.
if you're
That's
with,
what I've asked him for. I need to know
are
exactly
you going
what
to
you want
arm
me to
him,
have.
Hoff? Is he going to be armed?
Remains to be seen. Probably take him to the range Friday and see what his gun handling skills are before we go and arm him and endanger all of Western Wisconsin.
Fair.
He has played duck hunt,
Yes.
so they're not flying; they're on the
We'll give him
ground.
a pistol.
Yeah.
I don't know that I need.
And then if you're not armed, then you're going to be with the Hoff, I presume, during the hunt.
Yeah.
At which point, when the Hoff takes one down, you scurrying up, I think, is phenomenal. And I want to see you with one over your shoulder, carrying it out.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to do that fun picture where you kneel over it.
Yeah,
And it's like all.
that's it. Well, and then you'll have them like this.
I'll sling one over the shoulder, Hoff. I'm not afraid of that.
That's what I want.
I don't know if I'm going to be involved in the
Yeah, I mean,
disemboweling
they're-
of a turkey. I don't know if we
Yeah,
have to
you
do that.
should be.
I don't know if I'm going to be involved in that.
I always felt like that was a right of the hunt. Hoff,
Yep.
are you going to do the
It's
thing?
Great. It'll be you. What's that?
Are you going to do one of the traditions we have is that if you make a kill during the hunt, you have to remove the heart and take a bite of the heart raw to prove that the passage from the animal to you on to the next life. That's one of the traditions
First of all,
we
you're-
have. I assume you do
You're
that
not
as well,
an
Hoff.
Eskimo, number one, and that's how Zago ate a raw caribou leg, and then they asked
Raw
him to
caribou leg?
eat the heart, and he refused, and they threw him out of the village.
Well, I don't blame
And he
him.
was like, after he ate the raw caribou leg, he was like, they were ready to make him like King
Yeah.
Zago.
No, I think
and then
you-
so they offered him, which was the greatest delicacy, a still beating heart, and he couldn't do it.
No, I don't want still beating. It
was
won't be
still
beating,
beating.
but I
It
want
was
you.
still beating.
I think.
Is it cooked? Is it?
No, it's you. You were disemboweling the turkey, and you.
I bet
take
it's
it,
still going to be beating.
And you have that. You take that heart. I want to bite out of that heart. I'm sure you guys do that, Hoff. That's part of the tradition.
Well, it will be for Z, but typically our tradition is we take a shot of wild turkey after we shoot a wild turkey, and then the party starts.
Hoff,
That
I feel
wins
like
too.
Hoff,
That
I
wins
feel like
too.
I'm ready for that. That I'm capable of.
Oh, this
That's
is
in my wheelhouse.
Remember, I said, 80% party, 20% turkey gunning.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my God.
maybe we'll let him eat the heart, but I'll take the wild turkey shot.
No. I wouldn't want to deny you that delicacy, Hoff. I'm just
Okay,
a
well, thank you.
bystander
What a
and a
true gentleman.
sommelier. I'll pick the
This is
perfect wine
amazing.
to go with the heart, though. Don't you worry.
When is this happening? In the next couple weeks?
Yeah, May.
Like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Hoff, that's
so
why I was saying to
exciting.
you earlier today. I was like, I need you to give me like a full layout, like in detail of what you need me to bring for myself, so that I don't look like an idiot. Now I also
Yep. If you
know
look on that,
Hoff's sense of
Google
humor
sheet
that
I
there could
sent.
be.
He sent you a Google sheet.
But the Google sheet doesn't say like what kind of like camo and stuff I need. I need you to help me. I'm a novice.
Well, that we know.
If I was going to be like, if we were
I wrote.
hunting something in the sea, I would know what wetsuit to wear. I would look very good.
Yeah.
But this is out of my element.
Well, I mean, I wrote like long sleeve camo shirt. How much
Okay.
more detail do you need?
All right. There's a lot of kinds of camo. Hoff.
I mean,
well, you're not. You're,
All right, Forrest,
All right, well,
I'm going in. I'm doing it.
just dress like a bush. Dress like a bush. Get a
You-
ghillie
you
suit.
love
That'll
bush.
be the
That's
best.
perfect.
Can I
That's what
say
wear.
this? Might want a great
Full
president,
bush.
indeed.
Zigger,
Great
full
president,
bush.
great beer, head for the mountains. May I ask, what if because I am, and it's true, my mom listening, she likes that I acknowledge as part of me. There's debate that I'm either somewhere between 1/16th and 1/32nd Chippewa. Could I dress like Daniel Day-Lewis in Last of the Mohicans? Would
Yeah.
that be acceptable if I'm not in camo?
Yeah, as long as you're wearing your lederhosen on the bottom, which is, they're leather pants, so it's kind of similar there.
Yes, so I need a camo and lederhosen, two things that are not currently in my collection.
Yeah.
That will be in my collection in the next 2
definitely
weeks.
lederhosen.
Definitely.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, if you don't have
What a
camo,
revelation.
I can let you borrow my camo, but we'll need the lederhosen because the Saturday night is always our costume night, and with a nod to me coming back from Germany,
right? That's the theme.
It is Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
This is the theme. Yep.
No, I'm ready.
So we'll have the Helles beer. We've got all the stuff. We'll have some decorations. It'll be great.
This is amazing.
It's going to be wild, dude.
This is an all-time Hoff
It's gonna be wild.
segment for me.
By the
right
way,
now.
Miss K, very nervous.
Why would she be nervous? Why nervous?
Well, I think nervous that I'm going to be there. 80% party. We'll be at like 36 weeks.
Oh, I thought she was worried about something like perhaps a
Catching a
artillery.
stray.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Like what happened to Dick Cheney. Or Dick
Yeah,
Cheney
it
shot
was Dick
somebody up.
Yeah, I think he
somebody up,
shot
didn't
somebody else.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw
No,
what
I will
happened.
be very cautious. I'm working on my call.
Yeah. Great job, Hoff. Incredible effort out of you.
Maybe that'll work. I don't know.
No,
That sounded pretty good.
I just
Hoff
spitballing.
liked-
Just
Hoff liked
spitballing. Just spitballing here. That's all we're doing.
That's it. That's the one.
So like we're gonna do that, and then they're just gonna like walk up and be like, "What's
Oh.
up? Where are the ladies?"
Dude, they are a cunning bird. They're tricky.
I hope so.
Yeah, you got your work cut out for you. All right, Hoff. We'll talk soon.
Gibbs is crying.
love
Gibbs
it.
All right,
is
guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hoff,
We'll talk.
let's go, baby. I'm ready.
It's amazing.
Let's go.
I mean, at this point, how could anything but the next level be next? You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Back for Season 2, Junior Brown Backers, presented by University Hospitals, Rainbows, Babies, and Children, in association with Cardinal Credit Union. The Cleveland Browns official Kid Club is gearing up for another season of fun, ages 4 to 12. Give your kid a full season of Browns memories, exclusive gear, experiences, events, and plenty of surprises all season long. Visit juniorbrownsbackers.com to join today.
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
For the rest of the show, you guys might need to call me Nick because I'm shook.
I think you have I said I know you can do it. I just don't know that you knew you signed up for it.
I just want you to field dress after the kill.
I mean, we did.
Why can't I just know my limitations? And why can't I?
Cousin Nate was big on that, like on the eat the fresh
on
dead heart.
on the in-laws'
we
place
did that.
down in the Ponderosa
Did you
in
really do that?
southeastern Ohio.
I
Like,
hated it.
if you're going to go down and hunt, you better know how to field dress.
Yeah, you got to do that. I don't know what field. To be fair, I've never killed a turkey. Like we've done pheasants and geese and stuff. I've never done turkey, so I don't know what that's like.
Do I need to get like a cool hat that has the flaps over my ears, like a camo hat
so
like that?
Write this name down. This is the type of hat I want you to put this into Amazon.
Is this real, dude? Are you?
Write down Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, I know what Elmer Fudd's hat looks like. That's what I was asking.
That's the hat I want you in.
Is
I want you in that hat. That's what I want. I want you looking like Bobby Bacala when they went out to get Sil or to get Chrissy and Paulie. That's what I want you. That's exactly what I want you as. Just like that in Pine Barrens. By the way, someone put together a 10,000 gorillas versus 1 million men in AI.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is what AI says. Men total eliminations 14, gorillas remaining 9,986.
It's outrageous. Nobody can know that.
No, but Hoff said gorillas too. He made a great point on surface area. Like, could you even get enough surface area where your strength could be of use? That's the tough part. All right, let's go around the sports world. This was from Monday. Bills general manager Brandon Beane was on a local radio show and to kind of revisit the Bills draft. Let's have a listen to this conversation.
I was just
Got you down.
minutes of your show before I came on, waiting on here.
All right.
Sounds like 2018 all over with you guys.
Well, we're very. How so?
Well, you guys were bitching in 2018 about Josh Allen. You guys wanted Josh Rosen, and now you guys are bitching that we don't have a receiver. I don't get it. Like, we just hold on, let me talk. We just scored 30 points in a row for 8 straight games. A year ago, I get you guys asking why we didn't have receivers, but I don't understand it now. You just saw us lead the league in points when you add all the postseason. No one scored more points than the Buffalo Bills, including the Super Bowl champions. So you just saw us do it without Stephon Diggs, same group. How is this group not better than last year's group? Our job is to score points and win games. Where do we
10
defense? We did that. So I get it. You got to have a show and you got to have something to bitch about, but bitching about wide receiver is one of the dumbest arguments I've heard.
If you are one of those hosts, how do you handle that?
I mean, they don't really push back or say anything.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do at that point? Like, you're not going to fight him.
I assume they're probably a partner.
Yes,
Probably
if they're
the radio
getting the
home.
GM,
If they're getting the GM the Monday after, they're
Yes.
probably a partner with the Bills. Look, I mean, he kind of gets to spike the ball himself because if they were complaining about Allen and they wanted Rosen, well, that's a pretty good trump card to lay down.
He's had that in his back pocket.
He's been ready.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no matter how much they felt like they were boys with him, he's had this. If they dared criticize him again, he had this ready to go. Right?
Yes.
That's how I would read that. So I'd say, you know what? That's why you do what you do. That's why we do what we do. We have to have opinions. We'd like to see more receivers. We get you traded for Amari Cooper. You obviously felt like you needed more receivers last year. You gave a third-round pick for him. So, you were trying. That one didn't really work out. We didn't go to the Super Bowl last year. Still haven't been there. But, scoring's cool.
And by the way, all of that is fair.
Scoring's cool.
Everything you said is fair.
Scoring's actually very cool.
But that you better be pretty secure if you're one of those cats to push back.
Hey, you don't say anything.
You can't. Yeah, you just got to
Say
take
okay.
it. Take it.
Say what do you? I would probably say noted.
Yep.
Elite offense. What do you like about the room now? And what do you what pieces did you add? What did you feel like if scoring wasn't the issue, if it wasn't receivers, what prevented us from getting where you wanted to go, and how did we address that this offseason?
Do these draft picks get you to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Do you feel like this offseason got you to the Super Bowl?
Yep.
You've been knocking on the door.
Yep.
So if it's not offense, these were the needs. Did this do it?
Yep.
Those are probably it. I also think like it's where we are kind of in a society. Like a lot of people listen to what a lot of people have to say. And you have access to these people like you've never had before via social media. You'd be surprised who listens to what. You really would, folks.
Yeah, you would.
It's stunning what people hear and what they're listening to. And, I mean, I think the best example in professional sports that I always come back to is Durant having a burner account to defend himself on Twitter. Kevin Durant's the best offensive basketball player that I've ever seen in terms of – like I think he's unguardable.
Yep.
7 feet tall, and he shoots from 30 feet. Like, he's unguardable.
Yep.
Right? But at the same time, like, he was so worried about what people were saying that he created a burner account to respond to it.
Yep.
And that's the tricky thing there. So we're living in a world where that is very much commonplace. I did not see the Giannis Papa Halliburton thing last night. I saw the I didn't see it live. I saw the replays this morning of it.
What's his dad doing on the court?
The dad should be banned from postseason play the rest of the way.
I don't know that that's going to happen.
That's what he should be.
He should be.
He has no business.
He should be put in a suite. It's Halliburton's dad.
I don't care. Everyone should be the same. I'd say the same.
Agreed.
Anyway,
I mean, good on Halliburton, by the way, was like, my dad was way out of line.
Yeah, what else could he do? Also, like, Chuck's 100% right. Like, good on Giannis.
Oh, yeah. Giannis could have smoked him.
Like, what are you doing, man?
He could have smoked him.
Get out of here.
And Giannis gave a great
answer.
What got lost in it, and perhaps I didn't see, what was the interaction with Giannis and the other guy from the Pacers where he basically like grabbed his head, would not let go, and that was clearly heated and personal. But I think the Halliburton dad stuff almost overshadowed that, so you didn't get any. At least I didn't see a quote about that.
I didn't see one either. No,
but the dad is on the court taunting him.
Kindly leave. I'd just say you're done for the rest of this postseason. We'll see you next year. If I'm the NBA, that's what I do.
Yeah,
you're gone for next season. We'll see you next year.
You think they would do that? You think they'll do that?
I think they should do that. That's very reasonable to me. That's more reasonable than $100,000 for a 21-year-old stealing a phone number.
By the way, I don't know. Do we have so Ulbrich just did a presser about 25 minutes ago.
He did?
Yeah. Opened with a statement taking full accountability, saying he would not appeal the fine. But I'm sure somebody said, "What are you doing?" Like, I want to hear.
I haven't seen
what
any
his
quotes from him
punishment
on
is going to be.
I'm guessing he'll say, "I'm keeping that between me and my son."
That's fine, but I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
We'll work on that because we've got 4 more breaks.
So much more to come. In fact, there is a lot more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner, your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Browns fans, this month's winner of the local business platform presented by Minuteman is Russell Standards, a nearly 100-year-old family-owned business. Russell Standards' Akron plant helps supply asphalt and asphalt emulsions, performs preventative road maintenance to customers across the country. Check them out today at russellstandard.com. To learn more about the local business platform, visit browns.com/community/local business platform. I'm going to be honest with you, Gibby. I don't even know where we are in this show.
So, do you want to hear from Atlanta's
I don't know
defensive
where we
coordinator?
are.
Yeah, let's hear.
Let's hear from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, guys talking.
All right, let's go.
First of all, I'd like to publicly apologize to Shadur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blank, Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry. The NFL has taken action, and I fully respect the punishment. We take full responsibility, my son and myself, and we will not be appealing the fine in any way. Going forward, I promise my son and I will work hard to demonstrate we are better than this. Again, I'm deeply sorry for our actions.
It's a 21-year-old.
I still feel like kid's getting off publicly getting off pretty
I
easily.
mean, it seemed
Now dad's got to go out there. Now you got to go in front of
eat
the,
it. Yeah.
Eat it.
That sounds like you're talking. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It sounds to me like you'd be talking about like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
He's a college junior.
Yes, this is a 21-year-old kid.
Man.
This is a man. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
21. Come on.
The amount of things that guy at the podium's got to clean up. Like, frankly, he's lucky he's employed.
I wondered about that. That's
That
what I
would
initially
be-
thought. Is like, is it a fireable thing?
Is that the league? Yeah. Could that have been the league going, hey, you know what? The fine's not going to do. We're going to need something a little bigger than that.
I think you could. I think it would have been. Let's just say this: like if the Falcons would have said, "You're fired," cause of firing, idiocy. They have grounds, to do
Correct.
it. I think that's
Now
extreme,
that
but I also think
The league
Like-
has done that before.
Yeah, I don't think this reached this point. I don't think it reaches that point, but at the same time, and I don't know how you thread the needle on this one, guys. I don't, because it's a 21-year-old. So I don't know what the right pound of flesh is on it.
Agreed. It's brutal. I mean, the reality is it's a prank call. Like, was it cool? No, it wasn't cool.
It wasn't just a prank call, though. It was a prank call for spectacle.
For spectacle that was then
And you were
made
going to try
public and
to
all of that.
That you were going to try to leverage into, like a punked
Yes.
thing,
Yes.
Jerky Boys type thing.
Yes.
There's some news coming out of Baltimore.
Go ahead.
Kyle Hamilton gets the 5th year added, the option year for rookie, but they don't give the 5th year deal to Tyler Linderbaum.
They did note very quickly that they want to re-sign him, and I wonder, my guess is
long-term it.
perhaps what the 5th year option would pay him is maybe out of whack with what a center would get paid. That's the only thing I can think of.
This from William Belichick via North Carolina. Here it is.
It's getting better by the day.
No, it's
Quote,
no, it isn't.
I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday Morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicist at Simon Schuster that any promotional interviews I participate in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Parenthetically, no one ever gets that.
Nope.
Stop it.
No one.
Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that the point to help refocus the discussion. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job. Boy. To ensure the interview stayed on track. Some of the clips made it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021, which, by the way, means he met her when she was 20 years old. And I mean, jeez.
Oh,
The
jeez.
final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, which covered a wide range of topics relating to my career. Instead, it presents selectively edited clips and stills from just a few minutes of the interview to suggest a false narrative that Jordan was attempting to control the conversation, which is simply not true. Be honest with you. You're trying to sell a book, okay? You agreed to speak to CBS Sunday Morning. My guess is Simon & Schuster reached out to CBS Sunday Morning and said, can we get Bill on? We'd like to promote the book.
Yep.
CBS said, sure. CBS News is not something that ever is going to allow for parameters on an interview. They're just not. It's not the way it works. It's not the way journalism works.
It's a
You're not.
network level.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah.
It's not Pyeongchang Morning. Like, that's not what it is. Like, it's CBS Sunday Morning. So, like, and he would know that.
Yep.
This is a guy who spent most of his professional career in Boston. Like, you imagine doing an interview with the Boston Globe saying, yeah, but you can't ask me about this? Come on.
We won't do the interview.
By the way,
What the
here's
Boston
here's
Globe will say.
a thing that also came out there. By the way, 2 minutes ago, Darren Rovell breaking. Shedeur Sanders, pick number 144 in the NFL draft, is now the best-selling jersey in his draft class. Numbers just confirmed across the Fanatics network of sites.
He's got 3.5 million followers on social
Is the number one
Instagram.
selling
That's
jersey.
not surprising to me.
All right, this is the other thing that I was going to say. It came up earlier today. The Hard Knocks UNC version was on until it wasn't. While some have loudly insisted that a deal was never done, it basically was, to the point where NFL Films in North Carolina were hoping to announce the production on February 28th, the same day that multiple outlets reported it to be a done deal. So what happened? TheAthletic.com reports that Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, played an instrumental role in stopping the production related to her request to be heavily involved in the project. The report cites multiple industry sources briefed on the negotiations, and it meshes with everything we've heard about something was locked and loaded, ended up shooting blanks. So they did not like her involvement.
Do you think she
and
wrote
that's
the
why
release that Carolina just
it
put out?
was scrapped. The
I have-
conversation took a turn we were not comfortable with.
I had Brooke Pryor on this morning, and we talked about, the Buckeyes being drafted, Howard and Sawyer. And then I asked her about Pickett in terms of what she saw from Kenny there. But then at the end, I remember she's a North Carolina grad. And so I asked her, I said, how's this sit? And she goes, there's not many things that would make me root against my alma mater, but this is close. There's a sense of embarrassment for North Carolina. This is just such a strange story. It all is.
And by the way, he hasn't coached in a game yet.
No, and they're not recruiting, and they're not portaling. It's a scene, man. All right, so much more to come. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Oh, my God. You never know. This is the thing about this job. You never know what you're going to get into in a week.
No.
It's the beauty of it. You just don't know what type of curveball is going to be thrown your way. And so this has been a very, very fun week. We should point out that the Cleveland Browns Manchester fan club is responsible for these gorgeous
amazing
Man City quarter zips.
Yes.
Which
Thank you.
They're beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate you thinking of us and taking the time and energy to send them here. They will be worn with great pride. I believe they're the Citizens, I believe is what it is. G-Man could
They are.
confirm
You
on-
can
yeah.
confirm.
Yeah. Erling Haaland and the boys will be ready for that. So very good job. So that's very, very thankful. AZ Browns with this. How much can I donate to your favorite charities just to shadow Nathan Zagura for the weekend? For the love of God, please. So Z, if you're just joining us, is going turkey hunting with Hoff on the big turkey hunt. It's amazing that this is happening. The fact that I found out about it on air was
It's even better.
it's unbelievable.
Miss
That's
a day,
the
miss
case.
a lot.
You miss a lot, I guess. This is pretty good from Reddit work. There's no costume contest. The Hoff is just trying to get Nathan to show up in lederhosen all by yourself. That's in play.
In play, but it was also on the group chat that you needed to have.
I mean, that would be amazing.
You needed to have your...
Here for the party. I bet you are.
Mac has a good one. I get in my truck to leave work, and there's a turkey screaming at me. Not what I thought I would hear from 850. Well, to add to that, Mac, not only was a turkey screaming at you, a turkey was screaming at you in the form of the Hoff.
Yes.
That was the Hoff doing a turkey call.
That's right.
Not once, but twice on the show.
Yeah. So that was part of it as well. Great stuff. Great stuff. What we got rookie minicamp next week? Do we get that? Is that
Yeah.
where we're headed?
That's where we're headed, brother. Yeah, we do. I
Let's-
mean, I'm gonna look so funny and
So Z is also purchasing. Do you have to buy lederhosen too because you don't have that?
Correct.
Yeah. So you have to get lederhosen and then you got to get the turkey camo.
Does he need like a sleeping bag or something?
No. I checked that some people have their own whole setups. I do not have my own whole setup. And Charles Dawson said, bring a pack of Dude Wipes. Don't worry, brother. That is everywhere I go.
All right.
Dude Wipes and Charmin Ultra. You better believe it.
So
People don't
he
understand. He takes that on the road.
every road trip.
Yeah, of
literally
course.
everywhere I go.
We
Why
live
wouldn't
in,
I?
we live in a society? I
Yeah,
don't
why
think
wouldn't
that's not even up for debate. What is the where do we know where we're going in Wisconsin? I thought Hoff said Southwest Wisconsin.
1 minute.
Did he say that was your?
I think we're going to his.
No, I know, but like his spot is at Southwest.
He's in
Wisconsin.
right outside of Madison.
That's where he lives, but is that where the farm
I don't
is?
think that's where the farm is.
I don't think that's where the
farm
farm
is.
is.
A couple hours away.
Yeah. So your
I don't know.
Yeah.
Look it up. Where can you?
your
Google-
May
Put
temp,
Six Springs Farming. Where's it? on
your
Google
minimum
Maps?
temp is like it's going to be in the 40s at night,
Yeah.
and then high 60s, low 70s in the day. So you're going to be 40s at night, 40 degrees.
30.
Here's the deal, and not just because there's going to be all sorts of accoutrements to make you have a good time and potentially fall asleep. You're going to sleep like a baby with cold. You're going to
Maybe
do
some
well.
ibuprofen before you go to
20.
bed. Glass
So
of water, little ibuprofen.
So good. Sammy Monson's going to join us tomorrow. You have that to look forward to. Also, the next level is coming up next. We are back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.